The Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is back for race number 2 here in Le Mans, France, and I'm not alone. Marcus, the car or the chief mechanic of Mark Taylor, took his time. You can tell everyone is already rolling into the starting grid, but Mark had such a tough first race. He got 4 hits in total. The strongest he got from René Reinhardt, first of all. Then you kind of didn't see him at all, what was going on in the race. Then I saw him back on the racetrack. And later on, he had kind of a little fight going on with Greg Reed, who kind of hit his rear rim. That really looked very smashed afterwards. So maybe you can tell me, what is the mood in the team? Because he was leading the Chrome Championship, and now he's back on 2nd place. Knowing him, he might fight back because he already had a roller coaster year happening. But tell me what's going on in your team and how is Mark right now?
Mark was a little bit sad because of the DNF again. But now he's on fire to come as much to the front as possible. Yeah, 4 hits in a row in nearly 2 laps was a little bit too much. And yeah, we will see what he can do now.
How's the truck doing? Did you have to do a lot of fixing? I mean, you only have 1 hour in between the races because there's also Parc Fermé, so you cannot start directly. So what did you have to get fixed?
The biggest problem now was to get all the gravel out of the tires of the rim. It was inside the tire. The rim was broken after Craig Reed was hitting him, and that's the end. And to clean it all was most of all.
Okay, so the truck itself is in nice shape, good to go. We already saw him rolling through. He is in a fighty mode. Hopefully it doesn't mean that he's overdoing it, because this also sometimes could happen. And as you all know, you're the professionals out there as well. Race number 2 mostly is the even more exciting one because it's reverse grid. There's so much going on, so I really cross my fingers for you. Do you know about the points? Are you counting points? Like, if he's doing a good job now, can he make it back on 1st place today?
Not in race 2 now. It's, I think, 13 points from Bradley. So maybe tomorrow he can go back. Depends on Bradley. What is he doing tomorrow? We will see.
All right, let's walk over to the starting grid. Race number 2, and of course we have the lovely Chess Traycott in the house as well, so I'll see you in a second. Come on, let's go.
Thank you, Lena. Fantastic to hear from Mark Taylor's team there. And yeah, very busy first race of the day for him, with 4 major pieces of contact damaging that truck before the race was done. But yeah, with gravel in the wheel, it was obviously not easy for them to continue on. So it's time to have a look back at some of the highlights from that race then, and we'll catch you up on everything that happened to get our race weekend off to a strong start. As you can see from the original shots here, it was quite the interesting set of conditions. It was very cloudy in the sky, but at the same time, somehow sunny as well. A real strange mix. It was Sascha Lenz and Norbert Kish on the front row of the grid, but a lot of kerfuffling in the middle of the pack meant that there was contact between Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor. Clemens went straight on at Garage Vet and was out of the race. Mark had a puncture that he would then try and continue on with, but unfortunately would lose out and retire from the race in the end, especially after this hit from René Reinhardt. A big old whack, and obviously with that right rear being damaged, all of the gravel going inside as well. Stefan Kirsch had a great race though, defending from Simon Reed. The two of them having a lovely fight out there on track, with Louis Riquenco in the mix as well. Luke Garrett was also in the fight, and Bradley Smith was the driver that was leading the Chrome class from the very get-go. A great time for him to get maximum points, while Clemens Hecker and Mark Taylor, his 2 nearest rivals, did not score points at all. A lovely battle between Sascha Lenz and Jochen Hahn saw some wonderful sportsmanship between the two. This moment late on in the race between Simon Reed and Stefan Kirsch would knock Simon down the order by 3 spots, but at the very front, there was no blind spots in sight for Norbert Kirsch. He saw the very front of the field from the start and took another race victory. 16 wins this year from Norbert Kirsch, and if he outscores Jochen Hahn by just 5 points in this race here, then he will be champion for 2025. So let's just try and go over that, because we'll go through the points as the race goes on. I'll explain it in a moment, because we can go back down to the grid and speak to Lena.
Yes, we can, and it's really exciting, this race in Titan class, but also in Chrome class, and we have a very happy and lucky driver. Bradley, you really managed to pull yourself through. reverse grid, so I think you were also smarting it out, knowing what would bring you to the top position. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, no, feeling good. We've had a really good day. Got through to my first ever qualifying free, which is good. And then had a good first race. We won the Chrome, and then we was within the top 8, so we're in the reverse grid. So here we are on the front row for row 2. So it's been a good.
And also, you have very strong people around you, behind you. Talking about Antonia Albacete, Steffi Heim, who's like behind you. Are you afraid of them?
Yeah, definitely. They're just such good drivers, but it's good to be in the mix of them. It would just make me a better driver. So, yeah, nervous, but I'll try my best, push for the team, and see where we end up at the end.
So I give you time to breathe so you can focus on your race. It's very important. It's never easy to be in front with all these strong drivers on the back. And I also have a feeling that Jochen and Norbert, they both might try to squeeze through. Norbert already being Mr. Pac-Man himself, so let's see how this story goes. Chaz, back to you and to a very exciting race to come.
Thank you, Lena. Fantastic to hear from Bradley Smith. And I love how humble Bradley is. You know, there's so many drivers out there where if you ask them the question, you know, are you afraid of the guys around you? Most drivers would go, no, I'm not afraid of anybody. But Bradley was humble enough to say, you know what, yeah, they're really good drivers. And hats off to him. You know, he's such a lovely young man. And it's great to see him have that fighting spirit and continue pushing forward in the championship. He now leads the Chrome Championship. Speaking of championship standings, though, I was just about to explain that in the second and fourth races of the weekend, you get just 1 point per position in terms of the top 10. So you get 10 for winning and then 1 for 10th place. So basically, Norby needs to be 5 places ahead of Jochen to win the championship in this race. Let's go back down to Lena.
And to Steffi, who really is strong in the second races of today, always pushing through, always like putting her elbows out. So how are you feeling and what's your aim for this race today?
You know, I was very happy that we was able to finish on 5th in the first race, because coming from 12th place, it was not so easy. But I think we are fast enough, and for sure I will give everything to finish on the podium.
And are you aware that a lot of stuff will be going on in your rear? Because we have Norbert Kisch fighting for points for the championship, but we also have Jochen who might defend. So are you working together now?
No, I think everybody will do his race. I'm just focused in the front, and I hope I can gain a position. Maybe we can make some gaps so that I don't have to fight too much. And yeah, I'm just focused on my race, and yeah.
So we just let you do your race. I know it's going to be a good one. Good luck to you. Maybe I see her on the podium. It might happen. She's really good. And I'm really curious about this race. I think this might be my most favorite one of all races of this year. Chaz, what do you think about it?
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I love Le Mans. I think the Bugatti circuit is fantastic, and it's not the widest circuit that we go to either, so for truck racing it's just wonderful. Great fun. It's a big challenge for all the drivers and the teams as well. It's difficult to set the truck up for a circuit like this because there's a lot of long, smooth corners. There's also a lot of heavy braking zones as well, so you have to think about how the truck manages the weight and obviously how quickly things stop and start. So yeah, there's loads to think about there. Speaking of stops and starts, though, I'm going to stop talking in just a few moments' time, and we're going to start welcoming our international TV audience from around the world. We change over during these race weekends and obviously these race broadcasts to go to international TV coverage. So give us a sec, and we'll be right back with you.
A warm welcome to the fans of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And race number 2 here in Le Mans, France is just about to get started. And look out at the audience, it's so packed over here. It's not only European Championship happening, it's also the French one and the British one. So it's a very packed schedule, and it's the 24 hours camion, so truck racing. It literally, like, there's almost never a stop on the racetrack when it comes to truck racing. Super amazing atmosphere, and I can't wait to share the second race with you, of course, along with my lovely commentator, Jess Draycott.
Thank you very much, Lena. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the penultimate race meeting in 2025 in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. We're all super excited to get this final weekend underway, and this being our first reverse grid race of the weekend. Let's have a look at the circuit that we're racing at here this weekend. Le Mans Bugatti circuit. Not everybody fully aware of this place. It was originally designed for bike racing, I believe, and it certainly does well there, but it serves the truck racing just as well. We have some interesting corners, La Chapelle, Le Musée, Garage Vert, all in that first sector. Mighty tough to get those corners right, and we look forward to seeing how many more maneuvers and bits of action we catch around that part of the circuit. And into Garage Bleu and Recourement at the end of the lap as well. We see a lot of outbraking manoeuvres, a lot of last-ditch efforts to throw the truck up the inside and get some moves done. Should be an exciting one. The first race of the weekend was brilliant. We've got our biggest grid of the year here as well, with 18 trucks on circuit this time round. The two main additions for us this time being the Reed brothers, Simon and Craig. Both of them live about 5 miles from me here in the UK, and are certainly making the most of their Ivecos to start this weekend. Air temperature is still 23 degrees, despite it being nearly 6:30 in the evening. So it's definite that the conditions are very favourable at the moment. It does look like it's windy as ever, though, with lots of cloud about. There is one of the Reeds. It's Craig, number 68. An interesting little bit of information about them. If we look at the front of the truck, you'll see it is number 68, of course. It has it written on the windscreen of this glorious Iveco. But his brother Simon, alongside him on the grid, is 89, which is basically just turning the number the other way up. So they only ever have to buy one set of stickers. Let's go back down to Lena, shall we?
And Jochen Hahn is in the house, and this might be a very special race to come. I counted the points, or we counted the points. If Norbert now becomes first and he becomes 6th, the story is over. If he becomes 5th or is like glued next to Norbert, we still have to wait for tomorrow to see how the story continues. So are you counting numbers in your head, or are you just ready to fight for your life?
Never I calculate the points, you know. Every time I look for the moment. So we fight to go forward.
You told me that you really like Le Mans. Can you explain to the audience if it's easy to overtake on this track? Like, is it a good race when you want to go in the front?
Absolutely. First, it's a really safe circuit, and second, it's many possibilities to overtake. Yes. But you know, in the end, it's the situation for the start. It's the important point. So no mistake, hold a position or win a position, and then.
And he had a very good first race. You will learn about later on again. So I really cross my fingers you will do it. Good luck to you. And I love that he's always smiling. He is so busy. They are like building a new garage. He is painting the walls in the night. They're fixing the truck. He's with his team. They're traveling. He arrives. He jumps in the car. He's a race car driver. He gets out and he's taking care of his team again. So there's really a lot going on compared to others who are just sitting around and they're waiting for the race to start. So I really have a lot of respect for Jochen. Just back to you.
Oh, we all absolutely do. We love Jochen. He's always got a great answer for everything as well. I love how composed he is during interviews and all sorts. Fantastic to hear from him all the time. And hopefully an interesting race to come for him in the second race of the weekend here. You just saw the 100% renewable HVO shark fin on the 5th wheel of the number 33 Stefan Kirsch machine. Stefan got his first ever chrome podium in that last race and his first ever overall top 10 as well, and he'll be really pleased, and thumbs up as well ahead of this second one. A lot of the best work that team has done has already been completed for here this weekend. There's Sasha Lenz on the 4th row of the grid, starting 7th. And let's quickly go back down to Lena.
Yeah, because Norbert Kisch, I think he's kind of playing his games in a quite funny way. Look at that. Every truck who drives through France needs to have these stickers, of course, telling smaller cars and bikers and what's not that there are like huge angles where you cannot see what's happening around your truck. So he put this in the front of his truck. Let's see if there's also another one somewhere in the rear. No, it's only in the front. So, Norbert, was it the team putting the sticker for you, or did you put the sticker? The sticker in the front. I asked your team. Okay. I think it was his team making fun. Who of you put the sticker in the front? Enkel?
No. It was actually put on for the transport. But I like the color, I like the look of it, so we decided to leave it on as a joke. So.
But I thought you wanted to let people know that maybe sometimes you don't see too much.
I hope it has a side effect like that, but no, honestly, it's just as a joke.
All right, cool. We like that. It's very nice humor, and good luck to you guys. It's a very strong race that will happen. I also let Norbert go because he's already in concentration mode. But you see, everyone is taking it in a very easy way, in a like fun and laughing way, which I adore a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. There's always a fantastic sense of humour behind everybody involved in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Everyone in the One Truck family knows that, you know, we're all here for the same reason, to make decent truck racing at the end of the day. And it's fantastic to see that everyone is in the same boat with that sense of just togetherness and humour. We just saw one of the alloy wheels there on Steffi Halm's truck. It's one of the Alcoa wheels, who is a worldwide provider of forged aluminium wheels for trucks. They are one of our key partners here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. So too are Ford trucks, and Ford provide us with 2 of these Ford F-Maxes, which was the International Truck of the Year in 2019. It's also the official truck. Oh, look at that shot under the bridge there and everything. Oh, lovely. It's the official truck of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship, and it's the machine that we use for our inspection laps. We have the lovely May Fisher behind the wheel. If you look closely, you may see her bright pink hair in the cab of this fantastic machine. The F-Max itself was designed and tested by 500 Ford engineers over a 5-year period. There were 11 countries involved and 4 continents over the testing. 200 plus prototype units were used, and now we have this fantastic machine that May puts through her paces. She takes a few passengers out in this machine over the course of the weekend and definitely opens their eyes a little bit and ages them by a year or 2, but it's fantastic fun, I must say. I've been lucky enough to have a good few fast laps around the circuit in the F-Max over the years with my job as part of the championship, and it is a joy, a real joy to be so lucky. There's Bradley Smith on the front row of the grid then, and the front 3 rows of the grid are actually MANs on the left and Iveco's on the right. 3 on either side. Iveco as well are also one of the main partners of the championship as well, one of the main players, of course, in the global transport sector. Great to have them as another partner to the series. Lovely little plug on the timing tower there for Martin Gibson, a driver that we've had race with us in the championship before. He's racing in the British Championship this weekend alongside, funnily enough, teammate Michael Oliver. The British Championship has made its now annual trip over to Le Mans for this next round. It's lovely to have so many series all together and really celebrate truck racing in one fantastic venue. There's the 1 minute board then up in the air, and René Reiner on pole position on the left-hand side will be gearing himself up for, well, I'm sure he's hoping for a 3rd race win of the season. He won the final race at Zolder just a few days ago. Not even a week ago he won that race, after having a 9th, a 6th and a 7th and a penalty in every session leading up to that. And just to clarify as well, he got a 5-second penalty earlier for his contact with Mark Taylor, which is why he starts on pole position and not Bradley Smith. Bradley finished 8th on the road, but 3 seconds behind René. So those two have swapped places with that 5-second penalty. There are the stewards looking over the top of the start-finish line. Or at least the officials, sorry, I shouldn't incorrectly label them as stewards. I believe the electric Iveco makes its way away before us, and now Bradley Smith sort of gives Rene a bit of a nudge and says, come on, mate, let's get going. Second race of the day about to start here then in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Keep your eyes on the #1 red Revesh Racing MAN of Norbert Kish, because he could just about become 7-time champion. He needs to be 5 places ahead of Jochen though, so we'll go over that as it comes. For now, we look at the Iveco Pace Truck, which is the Iveco S-E-Way, the fully electric version of the Iveco S-Way. As I said before, obviously they're one of the main players in the global transport sector. Everybody has heard of Iveco. They've established a global presence on the world stage as a manufacturer and commercial provider in some of the most important industrialized countries and emerging markets all around the world. And we are very happy and grateful to have them on board as a partner to the championship. Here is our grid then for the second race of the day. It's René Reiner on pole position, 2-time race winner so far this year. Bradley Smith gets his first chrome win in quite a while in that first race of the day. Antonio Albacete next up with Steffi Halm alongside. Those two hoping to gain back some points on the likes of Sasha Lenz. It's then Jose Eduardo Rodriguez and Jochen Hahn on the third row of the grid, after finishing 4th and 3rd respectively in that first race. Sasha Lenz having a good day so far. We'll start alongside Norbert Kish, who's on the brink of making history in European truck racing, not just this championship, but the sport in general. John Newell will start in 9th place. He was happy with 2nd place in Chrome earlier. Stefan Kirsch was very happy with 3rd place as well. He will start with Louis Requenco and Luke Garrett right behind him, much like they were for a lot of that first race. Luke made pretty good progress considering the issues that they had. And then it is the Reeds next up, Craig Reed and Simon Reed, the two brothers starting together on the grid. Christian Ruppert and Mark Taylor next up on the 8th row of the grid. Mark hoping to make some big progress after DNFing the earlier race. Same with Clemens Hecker, starting in 17th position here, ahead of an unfortunately empty space on the grid where Stefan Faas will not be. Stefan so far this year has had, I believe, 8 non-starts. And this is another one to add to the list with the constant reliability issues that truck has had. It's a massive shame as well, because at Slovakia Ring and the Nürburgring he was scoring podiums and class victories when the truck was working. But other than that, I'm afraid it's been a major problem for them all year, the reliability of that machine. So this is bound to be an absolute cracker, everybody. I hope you've got yourselves a drink. I hope you sat down and ready to go. It's normally quite the whirlwind here at Le Mans. As you can see, the light is fading. And as we head into the evening, it's 20 to 7 local time. Well, the action's only just going to get hotter and hotter. You can hear and see the amount of people who are around the circuit, especially when they get onto the start-finish straight. There is a colossal amount of fans here. Such a great atmosphere at Le Mans. Obviously a massive and colossal venue, but the Bugatti circuit, such a small, confined space. But we absolutely pack it to the brim with trucks and fans of truck racing. Here we go then. Round 26 of the 2025 Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship from Le Mans is underway now. There's a bit of a puff of smoke in the middle of the pack. I'm not sure if somebody had to get on the brakes last minute, but Simon Reed has moved all the way over to the right-hand side to try and get past Luke Garrett. Looks like a really good start by Bradley Smith. He gets his nose in front of René Reiner as they go up to the Dunlop chicane. A little bit of smoke in the middle there. Louis Requenco running wide. He's on the slippy stuff on the inside. Hopefully keeps that all together. He's locked up actually and gone straight on at the chicane. He's hit Stefan Kirsch and he's spun around. He's been clipped by Mark Taylor as well. Hopefully no major damage to Mark. It looks like Louis will be able to continue. Steffi Halm just running slightly into the back of Bradley Smith there. René Reinert's now got the lead. Further back, everybody keeping it tidy as well. I think that's Simon Reed side by side with Clemens Hecker. He wants to get some more points back. Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete sending some of the penalty markers flying. Craig Reed splits it in half just to be sure. Bradley Smith is holding some of these guys up here in the Titan class, and they are all piling on top of one another. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez has lost a couple of places in all this as well. Oh no, Mark Taylor is off and out. Mark Taylor is off at the side of the road. He's not been able to continue after the first corner contact. So look at Louis Requenco, the green truck. He's tight on the inside, and then he's locked up. Bounced off the side of Stefan Kirsch, and then Mark just hits the right rear corner of Louis' truck. I'm not sure what other damage that would have done to Mark's machine, but oh, dearie me, they've red flagged it, and whoa, it looks like it got a little bit friendly there as everybody tried to slow it down. That is a big, big shame. A very interesting start to the race, but Mark's truck obviously in a treacherous position. Not sure if Louis was still stuck in that position either. In fact, no, Louis, I think, completed the first sector of the lap. There is Mark Taylor. Great advert for the business, but unfortunately not great for his race. He came here leading the Chrome Championship. He is already now 8 points behind Bradley Smith before this race. And now it's very likely... Requenco is at the back, by the way. You can see him just in the background there. But it's very likely now that Mark won't score any points from this race either. I was worried that Christian Ruppert had made contact with Louis Requenco and all of that, but he seemed to get away with it. Louis has damage on the right rear, but he's been able to carry on. René Reinert was ahead of Jochenhahn, who was ahead of Bradley Smith. Looks like Bradley's had a little bit of contact because there's a slight piece of bodywork missing. I hope they're not thinking they're going to put Mark Taylor on the back of that Mercedes Actros there. There is Mark Taylor's truck just on the exit of the first chicane. Can't see any damage or anything. You can see Mark moving around inside the truck. He's got his helmet off, so he's clearly okay. At the end of the day, the safety in truck racing is absolutely brilliant. They're so high up and far away from any contact or G-forces that it is very often the case that the drivers are absolutely fine and all safe. Marshall there with the red flag before the final corner. That's just to give them a good amount of distance before the start-finish line. So they'll be trying to figure out, obviously, what order to go in for the grid. So Louis Requenco is back moving again. And so the recovery truck is on its way to go and get Mark Taylor. It's interesting. We've never seen a recovery truck quite like that used, have we? Some of the drivers further back trying to move out of the way. That might have something to do with it. As you can see, the Iveco SE-Way is back and ready for duty at the front of the grid. And now the recovery truck is making its way up to the first couple of corners. So I'm not quite sure why that other one with the humongous flat trailer on the back of it was being escorted around there or being moved around. As you can see, though, while all the machines themselves in truck racing are even bigger, the machines that recover them are bigger than that. You see some absolute monstrous machines recovering racing trucks. And they are awesome, awesome wagons. I mean, look at the size of it. It's absolutely massive. Makes our racing trucks look rather small sometimes, doesn't it? They will head round to the front of Mark's machine. They'll obviously lower the crane off at the back and hopefully just be able to tow him away. The recovery operation is unfortunately just taking place out of view. Mark there checking the damage on the front of the truck. It was the front right that took the major hit. And now they will be preparing themselves to get that out of the way, and hopefully we can continue on. I'm not sure what the situation is with Louis Requenco. I think once the trucks are released to move back round to the grid, we'll see him come into the pits and check for damage. I'm sure he'd rather do that than obviously make his way round to the grid and just risk it. The FIA will need to sign it off as well, the delegates down there. As there is the huge flatbed recovery machine. I'm still confused as to why that's there. Let's have another look at the start of the race then. So there was a puff of smoke in the middle of the field. I think they ended up 3 wide in the middle of the pack. Bradley Smith had a great start, but René outbroke him into turn 1. It was John Newell. So John Newell, Stefan Kirsch, and Louis Requenco made a bit of contact. Louis was all the way on the outside, but look, he's on the curb and he's on the dirt, and he still tries to turn in as if he's going to make the corner. He's way too hot into there. Goes across the front of John, hits Stefan Kirsch. He then spins. Luke Garrett gets lucky, and then Mark Taylor is the one that just clips him with that right front. You can see it damages the bodywork, damages the wheel on Louis' truck. I don't know if it even punctured the tyre, though. Ah, yeah, it's bent the wheel completely out of shape, actually. Goodyear make a very strong tyre, and Alcoa make a very strong wheel. But, I mean, it's one truck crashing into another. It's always going to be difficult to survive that in terms of the mechanical aspect of it. And there is Mark's truck, unfortunately stopped on the exit of the first corner. Mark's engineer is apparently with Lena, so let's head down to the pit lane and have a word.
Here I am again with Marcus. I was not expecting us to be talking that quickly again. Sorry. How are you feeling right now? Did you get the chance to speak to Mark already?
We get a chance to have the radio when it was working. It looks like the spring in the front is broken. He got a hit from Requenco. Let's see what happens.
So he has been the billiard ball at this race, being pushed around.
Yeah.
Man, very, very sorry for him. I hope you can come back stronger tomorrow, because I think that's set for race number 2 for today.
We will see tomorrow.
Yeah, okay, see you tomorrow. Craig, back to you. Racing really can be up. You know what I mean.
Absolutely can be, Lena. You're absolutely right. It is just one of those things sometimes. Not good luck for them. Good luck for this man, Bradley Smith. And like I said in the first race, you'd never wish a bad time or a DNF on your competitors, but Bradley will be pretty pleased with the fact that they've obviously got a chance to score big points when Mark is not going to be scoring points. 2 DNFs for Taylor out of 2 races today, and in a weekend where he came here as the championship leader. Not what they would have wanted at all. We look here, a lovely shot of all of our trucks as we head down. The 3 Ivecos on the right-hand side. You've got Bradley Smith on pole position, Steffi Halm in 3rd position, Jochen Hahn in 5th. Actually, no, sorry, it's 2nd, 4th and 6th, isn't it? It's from the other side of the grid. And then Norbert Kirsch in 8th place, the first MAN on the right-hand side of the grid there. Another lovely view of all the different styles of bodywork that the teams go for. And obviously another good look at those lovely Alcoa alloy wheels that we have as a partner. This is Stefan Kirsch's machine now. It doesn't quite have as pretty a bodywork on it right now as it's being repaired, because he took the brunt of the contact with Louis Requenco. There's all sorts of pins and rivets and things that hold the bodywork on that corner of the truck. Doesn't look like the tyre's gone down or anything to me. There is Mark Taylor's machine being taken away. Had a message from my good friend Marine, and he says he thinks the front axle is broken on the truck, so clearly some issue with that there. It's obviously a big old hit in the front right, but it's completely separated the front right corner from the rest of the truck. That was smooth, sir. 10-minute board is shown, and Louis Requenco is making his way past all of these drivers at the front of the grid. I think, oh yeah, okay, that'll do it. I was going to say, Louis has been told, I think, to go away and go into the pit lane. He was wide around the outside of John Newell and Stefan Kirsch, but then, yeah, it just seemed like he turned into the corner as if he was still on the racing line, but he was pretty much off the circuit. I'm not blaming Louis for that. I want that to be clear that, I'm not blaming Louis for the incident at all, but yeah, it's unfortunately his moment down the inside that triggered all of that. He's now gone back into the paddock, and they will get that sorted. And yeah, it's because the rear bumper is completely broken. It's a structural and important part of the truck at the end of the day. It's done for the safety. You're about to see some wonderful engineering here by Stefan Kirsch's mechanic. I believe we're about to see some zip tie artwork here. Yes. One of my favourite things, this. I love it when teams do this. So in the wonderful sport of drifting, you will often see zip ties used to... They call it zip tie stitching, where they'll draw lots of stuff all together. Oh, careful you don't get that in your hand, son. Don't know if anyone else listening has ever had fiberglass in their hand, but it is not a pleasant experience at all. I used to have a... see, that's what he's attaching it to, you see, that part of the frame. It's actually gone through the side of the bodywork there, you can see. I used to have the front bumper off a race car as a piece of furniture in the house, basically, as a memento of working in motorsport. And after picking it up and carrying it through the house one day, getting fiberglass in the sort of under the knuckles of your hand, it's a horrible, horrible experience. So that mechanic, clearly a lot more tough than I. And that's why he's down there as a mechanic and I'm up here as a commentator with my soft hands. So Louis Requenco's machine is confirmed out of the race because of that rear bumper. That bumper bar is effectively, well, it's part of the safety and part of the chassis of these trucks. We've seen it before where they've lost entire front bumpers and the fiberglass and everything will be broken. But the bumper bars themselves are the main key part of it. Look at the damage to the wheel arch and the side of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's machine. Wow. Someone's taken a bite out of it, as you can see, and there's rubber marks on the left as well. There's been some real big action in the opening moments, but you know what? With no disrespect to Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, this truck very often looks like this. He's a feisty boy, is Jose Eduardo Rodriguez. And that's why we love having him in the championship so much. He really is great fun to watch. And look at the crowds that we have here. They're all on the screen, so they're all waving. They're having a great time. And it is always a great time here at Le Mans. We love it. We absolutely love it. One of the best races of the year. And now they're trying to get some sort of clap going. The French announcer here as well, by the way, is awesome. Really, really awesome. Knows exactly how to get everybody in the mood and how to get everything up to the right energy levels. We look here at Jochen Hahn in front of his Iveco. Ready to, well, I'm sure he's going to be hoping for another good start. He also had a little bit of contact in that one, as you can see. A little bit of a chunk taken out of the front right of the Iveco there. I'm not sure if he had contact with Bradley Smith, but there's a little bit of yellow in all of that, isn't there? Interesting. But Bradley had a great initial start up to the first corner, and then unfortunately was re-overtaken by René Reiner, as René got away from the chicane with a little bit more pace. A lovely 360 view here of the Iveco. And now everybody will be making their way off the grid, I believe. Just our cameramen and a few officials will be allowed to remain on. This is Antonio Albasetti's machine, if I'm not mistaken. You have to just look for the massive Varta Batteries logo down the side. And even a few scrapes and scuffs there. There's some more zip tie stitching, as you can see. Probably done by that magnificent man to the right of our screens, actually, Tim Frost. He's got a bit of a battered and bruised race truck at the moment, but it's certainly in better nick than it was after race 2 at Zolder just a few days ago. 5-minute board is shown, which means, unfortunately, everybody, you've got 5 more minutes of me finding something to talk about while we sit on the grid. It's apparently Eiffel time, which I still don't understand to this day. It's something that people say to me when we need to just basically hurry up, but I still don't understand Eiffel time. I'll get it one day. It's been 5 years now. Yeah, right. Thank you very much, Sebastian, my producer and director. He's explaining to me that basically it means that 5 minutes will be 2 minutes. So it's like you're ready to go and sort of you skip it and just go a few minutes early, like, oh, stuff it. Why not? So we'll see. 5-minute board is shown. We'll see how quickly that becomes 2 minutes. There's John Newell's machine. John having a great first race, finishing second in the Chrome class, just behind Bradley Smith. He will want more big points from this next one. There's Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, number 38 on the windscreen of his truck. Doesn't have the white number square around it, though. Not sure if I'll get him in trouble for pointing that out or not. 3-minute board is shown. Eiffel time indeed. So now the 3-minute board is shown. Everyone will be told to, well, for lack of better phrases, go away, off the grid, and we can get racing. And Sebastian has very much I told you so'd me right now as we continue on ahead of the second race of the weekend. Thanks once again for your patience here, everybody. We hope you're excited for this one. I certainly am. Love it here at Le Mans. There is the front left of Clemens Hecker's machine, you could see Minna written in the center wheel cap there. Minna is the name of his truck. Minna and Maggie is the team that he shares with Bradley Smith this season. Those two are teammates. Maggie is Bradley's truck. Minna is Clemens' truck. Listen to the French announcer. I hope you can understand French, everyone, because I can't. Still, he is really good, this guy, and he always gets such a hype going. We hear it every single year. And thanks to the fantastic speakers, yeah, look, it's just brilliant. The fans here are absolutely bonkers. We love it. It's just such a good party at Le Mans. Look how many people come out to see this event. Excellent fun. And hopefully the racing will live up to the hype and everyone will enjoy themselves. 30-second board has been shown. Eiffel time indeed. 15-second board is now shown. And we'll have our pace truck at the front get going in just a second. I think they're doing some sort of Mexican wave. Either that or the bloke spinning around on the spot. I don't know what he's doing. Green lights are on, and as you can see, the rammed start-finish straight here will bear witness to what should be a great race. There are the two Reeds making their way away from the start-finish line. Craig and Simon in this race will be starting, I think, from the 8th row of the grid. I'm just going to grab the grid again because I closed the document earlier. They're starting from the 7th row of the grid, actually, in 14th and 15th place. Sorry, 13th and 14th place it would be. We will still have the full race length. So we should have all 11 laps of this one. And that includes the full formation lap here. Excellent indeed, Sunshine. I mean, he's putting me out of a job here. We have the Iveco S E-Way pace truck at the front of the field, the all-electric Iveco S E-Way, driven by Nico from Iveco. Great to have Nico as part of the team this year. We were originally supposed to just have this Iveco S E-Way at just a couple of rounds this year, but we've had it for the full campaign. And it's been lovely to have it. We just wait now to see who gets the best start here. Because last time, Bradley had a belter into turn 1. And then Rene got him back on the exit. And now we make our way through Garage Vert. And there is Christian Ruppert in the middle of the field. No Louis Requenco at the back end of the order. And no Mark Taylor either. So it's going to be a little bit quiet back there for this second one. But it's Rene Reiner and Bradley Smith once again sharing the front row of the grid. Apparently, the 64 machine of Louis Requenco has replaced the rear bumper and is in the pit lane. They've had the nod to get racing. So we will get Louis at the back of the grid. It's just that he will join from the pit lane. So once all the trucks have passed pit exit, he will be given the green light to get going. You can hear the music. You can see the headlights on the Iveco SE-Way. You can see the reflection on the circuit. We are going into evening conditions here at Le Mans, which is very exciting. A sort of twilight race in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Round the final corner we go then, and it's René Reinert at the very front. He starts on the left-hand side, which will be the inside for turn 2. Bradley Smith on the right. Let's get this race underway, shall we? Round 26 of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship is underway once more. And movement at the back of the grid. This time it's Luke Garrett going over to the right-hand side, not Simon Reed. I think the original start was under investigation, but we go again. And for the second time running, it's Bradley Smith with his nose in front just as they head up the hill. But René, using that outside line, will now try and brake later. Get in front into turn 2. And whoa, big contact again further back. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is around. He's facing the wrong way. He's lost the front right corner of his truck. Looks like it was just a bit of cosmetic damage, though, and look, it's split the field in half. And would you look who's into 5th place already? It's Norbert Kirsch. We've got floodlights on here at Le Mans. Antonio Albacete is losing ground. I wonder if he's got a puncture or some damage on that left rear. Certainly looks like it on the 23. That's not what he wants. Luke Garrett goes through. Simon Reed wants to go through as well. I think John Newell is stuck right behind him now. And look at that from Clemens Hecker down the inside. He tries to go past, I think that was Simon Reed also, actually. The race carries on at the front. It's René Reinert, Steffi Halm and Bradley Smith side by side, and the two Ivecos with Jochen Hahn right behind them. René will want them to fight until the cows come home, because then that means that he can get away. Bradley holds on to the chrome lead, though. That's what's important to him. He doesn't need to worry too much about the overall positions here. He just needs to hold his ground in the chrome class. Jochen moving right, moving left. These trucks may only have small LEDs in the windscreen, but I tell you, they are mighty bright as Jochen. Later on the brakes than Bradley Smith, dives down the inside. I think he might have been caught out slightly there by how early Bradley broke, and look at that by Norbert Kirsch, just gliding by on the right as if Bradley isn't there. Sasha Lenz wants to get a run in on this as well. Bradley's got to pick his fights here. He doesn't want to scrap with these Titan drivers too much. I wonder if Antonio is able to continue at full race pace here. I don't really see if he's got a puncture or not at this point, but Norbert Kirsch already up into 4th place at the end of the first lap. Jochen Hahn already up into 3rd place. And Sasha Lenz in 5th position as well. It's Reinert, Halm, Hahn, the top 3 after lap 1. Bradley Smith going from 2nd on the grid down into 6th place, but that's not bad because he still leads in chrome. Headlights ablaze on most of the trucks here at Le Mans, and it looks brilliant, doesn't it? The evening is very much upon us here. It's Stefan Kirsch there in front of Antonio Albacete. Antonio still racing on. It looks like it was Steffi Halm that bore the brunt of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez's MAN, because that bodywork on the left-hand side is absolutely split in half. But good news for Steffi is the truck seems to be running at full pace still. Antonio Albacete now ahead of Stefan Kirsch. John Newell's gotten past him as well. Clemens Hecker is in the mix, and look at that, around the outside by Clemens, although he runs out of room, and now Luke Garrett's got to try and find a way through. He's just going to push him up the hill, I think. Now Luke looks to the inside, now he looks to the outside. The brightest LEDs in the world on the front of Clemens Hecker's truck. Now he had to re-expose the camera. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez still in the mix there in the background. More damage and battle scars to Antonio Albacete's machine already. Great start to this race, though. Action-packed stuff. It's Reinert, Halm, Hahn, Kirsch, Lenz, Smith, Albacete, Newell, Kirsch, and Clemens Hecker completing the top 10. Fantastic-looking conditions here. René Reinert's put his lights on now as well. Steffi doesn't have her lights on in the windscreen. We'll wait and see how this battle goes, as apparently Bradley Smith is under investigation for overspeeding. And there it is. There's the official message. Piece of bodywork flies off one of the trucks. Oh, dearie me. Hopefully for Bradley, that doesn't come to fruition. John Newell will be happy if it does, though. Like I said again, not wishing anything bad on their competitors, but that would put John in a very comfortable place in the Chrome Championship. And after the season that John's had, he'll be over the moon to be right up there. He had a really difficult start to the year, did John. Got himself a 2nd place in class at the end of Misano, but then didn't really see many podium places again until the Slovakia ring. And John, so far this year, has taken a win in Chrome. Antonio Albacete and Jose Eduardo Rodriguez are under review for their incident. It's not under investigation, but it's under review at the moment. Just having a look. Oh, no, it is apparently. No, it is under investigation. I do apologise. Thanks once again to Alice, who is sending all of the official race control messages through to us commentators to relay. Penalty markers getting absolutely annihilated once more. Norbert Kish, I should get his name right, tries to move around the inside, then the outside of Jochen Hahn, tries to cut back as they go through Musée. Right now, though, René Reiner is not disappearing over the horizon, is he? Look at them, 4 of them for the lead, almost 5 as Sascha Lenz closes in on all of this battle. Norby is trying everything in the textbook to get around the outside of Jochen Hahn. How cool does this look, though? Just delay the race by 15 minutes and we get some floodlit racing here in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It'd be amazing to get a night race. I wouldn't be able to tell you who anybody is. It'd just be headlights in the dark, but it'd look great. This would be the place to do it. I believe they do a night race, actually, in the French Championship here. It'd be lovely if we could get the same. It'd be excellent fun and a real party to look forward to as the season goes on. Bradley Smith has a 10-second time penalty for overspeeding. That is devastating, and that drops him down. Speaking of dropping down, Clement Ecker has lost a place to Stefan Kirsch in all of this. But Bradley will drop behind John Newell. He will only drop behind Albacete and Newell, though. He'll only lose 2 positions with a 10-second penalty. No, he won't. Actually, he'll lose 3. I do apologise. I thought it was a 5-second penalty for a moment then, but no, it's 10. So we'll see just how far he goes by the end of the race. But Bradley Smith, 10-second penalty applied. He will not be happy with that, but it's an issue that only he and the team can do something about at the end of the day. We've seen it before from Jochen Hahn. He said that he was, I think, no, it was penalty markers, wasn't it, that Jochen was told off for. And he said, look, at the end of the day, there's rules. If we don't stick to them, we pay the price. That's exactly what's happened to Bradley here. Interesting battle at the front this, because we've got the 2 MANs bookmarking or bookending this order. Norbert Kirsch in 4th place and his teammate René Reiner leading the way. And in between them, they've got the 2 teammates of Jochen Hahn and Steffi Halm. Jochen trying everything he might to get by Steffi, and he suddenly has to go within a matter of seconds from attacking to defending. Looking down the inside of Steffi Halm, then decides, nope, I need to hold Norby behind me as long as I can. And again, look, defending the position, defending the track space. At the end of the day, even if Jochen finishes where he is now and Norby gets past everybody in this battle and wins the race, Norbert Kish will not yet be 7-time champion. He needs to beat Jochen in this race by 5 positions. Even then, the most that Jochen could do is tie with Norby on points if he won every race for the rest of the year and Norby didn't get a single point. But even then, on count-back of victories, Norbert would win because he's got 16 wins to Jochen's 1. And there's only 7 races left. Well, actually, even after this one, there's only 6. It's crazy. The season has gone so quickly here in 2025, but it's been a wonderful fight to watch. Still got the rest of tonight. And, of course, in 2 weeks' time, Harama left to go. René Reiner across the line once again then. Doing another great job at leading this race, but he isn't disappearing, is he? Steffi Halm right in the mix here. Steffi still without the headlights on at the front, though. Jochen right up behind, trying to get past his teammate without opening the pair of them up to attack from reigning champion Norbert Kish. Sascha Lenz is still sat there in 5th place as well, hoping for something to give in front of him. Great shot there as they go down the hill through Virage La Chapelle. Antonio Albacete still behind Bradley Smith. Unable to gain that place back so far as Clement Ecker to the back of Stefan Kirsch. We saw quite a bit of that in the first race. Stefan in a great position, but not able to get away from those behind him. He's just able to put the truck in the right place at the right time, although I say that, and Clemens Hecker goes to the move around the outside Vert du Musée. And Kirsch says, not in your life. Pushes him out wide and says, no, thank you. Clemens has got to get back on the track at some point, though. Stefan fighting for his life. Clemens back down the inside, gives him a shove. Still they make it through. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez now goes through as well. Side by side, just in front, the two of them rubbing panels. Clemens won't want to give him the room here as they head down towards the next corner. Chemin-le-Boeuf as, oh, Luke Garrett off in the background there. Not sure if Luke's had some sort of issue, but he was off as Clemens around the outside. A lock up there by Stefan Kirsch. That was the tyre squeal you could hear. It wasn't me making noises. I mean, it still resulted in me making noises. I think Luke Garrett has pulled over. Luke Garrett's got an issue in the background. He's going to be out of this race. That is a huge shame as well. They thought that they had the reliability sorted from earlier. Doesn't look like that is the case. So 2 DNFs so far in the likes of Mark Taylor and Luke Garrett. Clemens Hecker now in front of Stefan Kirsch and in front of Simon Reed, who has also gotten through. Craig Reed is in the mix as well. Simon's off. That poor penalty marker. It's got the hardest job of all of us here this weekend. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez now trying to get past Clemens Hecker as they head up towards the first couple of corners. Wonderful scenes though with the lighting. Look at that, late on the brakes by Jose Eduardo, and just behind as well, Stefan Kirsch wants to get past Simon Reed. Simon says nope. Looks like he went way too hot into the chicane there, didn't it, did Simon? But he somehow made it through. Craig is... I don't even know if he went through the chicane or not there, Craig, but he's somehow getting past Stefan Kirsch. More of a fight going on at the front as well. This is a great night's racing already. What a wonderful day. It's always an absolute treat racing here at Le Mans, but this second race with the reverse grid is... No, Requenco! Louis Requenco. Oh, I swear his mechanics are that enthusiastic. He just wants to give him something to do. Smacks into Stefan Kirsch. Gets going again. Let's have a look. Oh, dearie me. It's climbed onto the back of the 33, and look at it. It's the prettiest trailer that'll ever be attached to the back of that thing, but look at the state of that. Goodness me. Requenco just plows into the back of the MAN as if it's not there. Well, hopefully Stefan's able to continue. And if he is, it's another testament to how strong the tyres from Goodyear are. Wow. That was a very strange incident, but yeah, I mean, Louis, the chasing driver there, obviously, I think Stefan has been early on the brakes compared to what people expect on a few occasions here. I think we saw it in that very corner earlier on with Clemens Hecker. Clemens went into the back of him, but it was only just a tiny tap. I think there they got very unlucky with the fact that one wheel climbed on top of the other. But that is not ideal for Louis Requenco. I wonder if he's able to continue round, and obviously we hope that Stefan Kirsch can continue round as well. Keep our eye out for the pair of them. At the moment, René Reinert carries on leading this race. And it's still Steffi Halm ahead of Jochen Hahn, ahead of Norbert Kisch. Bit of a stalemate in the top four positions here. Sasha Lenz is still in the mix as well. Bradley Smith staying in front of Antonio Albacete. Bradley does have that 10-second penalty hanging over him, so as long as he can put in good enough pace to get away from John Newell, he'll take a win in Chrome. John wants his second win in Chrome of the season, and Steffi Halm all of a sudden has Jochen Hahn right on the back of the Iveco. Bradley will just drop 2 places at the moment behind Albacete and Newell. John Newell is only about 5 seconds back from him. In fact, he's less than 5 seconds back, so right now John is on for his second Chrome win of the year. He got his first one at Most in race 2. You know, there's only been 5 races in the last 15 where John hasn't been on the Chrome podium. He's had a really good run at present. Luke Garrett has unfortunately come into the pit lane and will be out of this race, which is devastating news again. I was talking to him and Graham and Lisa and all the team and Daryl as well back at Zolder, and they were so happy when they'd got the truck set up in a way that was a good platform for Luke. And at the end of the day, we were saying that, you know, it's the fleshy bit behind the wheel that can develop on the fly more than the truck. You can't change the setup halfway through a race. So, you know, Luke was really happy with the truck being in a great place for all conditions. It's just a case of changing the tyre pressures based on what the weather's doing. And now still I was going to say the reliability gremlins, but it's lack of reliability gremlins, isn't it? Have come to haunt them again. More positions changing further down between Craig Reed, Stefan Kirsch and Louis Requenco. Louis, I think, has had another issue. He's having a very busy day, isn't he? Is Requenco, as these are our top 5 for the lead right now. René Reinert, Steffi Halm, Jochen Hahn, Norbert Kisch and Sascha Lenz as the sun sets here at Le Mans at the fantastic Bugatti circuit. Lisa has said that her and Alfie are watching from the pub. Alfie, their son, competing at a very high level in British karting. And hopefully a P3 in the final today for Alfie makes up for the misfortunes of the number 42 truck. You can see the drivers here spreading out slightly in this top 5. Just making sure they don't ingest all the hot air from the truck in front. And obviously with the cooler conditions now as the sun sets, they want as much cool air in the front as they can. René still leading the way. Jochen all over the back of Steffi's Iveco, though, his teammate truck trying to find a way through. There is quite literally a traffic jam at this part, but the thing is, it's not a lack of pace from Steffi, and it's not really a lack of pace from René. It's like there's a bungee cord on the back of that blue MAN at the front, because every few laps, Steffi drops away a few truck lengths and then hops right back up to the rear bumper bar. And the top 5 are racing so closely together. It's great to watch. Racing so closely without incident as well. That's one of the most important things. Bradley Smith still running in 6th position, by the way. He's having a great race. I'm going to keep my eye on the gap back to the drivers behind. He's only half a second ahead of Albacete. He's only 5 seconds clear of John Newell. 5.3 seconds clear of John Newell at the moment. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez is next. But really, Bradley will only worry about John Newell. It's likely that by the end of the race, he'll lose a position to Rodriguez in the overall classification. But he will definitely lose the place to John Newell as long as John has a clean rest of his race. Norbert Kisch, well, I'm sure he's happy to just sit in this current position and wait. I mean, he's a perfectionist at the end of the day, is Norby, so he won't want to sit behind Jochen. Of course he won't. But if it finished like this at the moment, it would give Norby an 84-point lead in the Drivers' Championship, and it would mean that so long as he finishes in front of Jochen in the first race tomorrow, I mean, Jochen could win the first race tomorrow, and Norby could, I think, as long as he scores just 2 or 4 points, then he would be champion. And I'll have a look. Because, like I say, if it finishes now, it'd be 84 points with 80 left on the table. So, yeah, all Norby would have to do would be score 4 points in the race tomorrow, and that would mean finishing in 7th position in the first race of the day. So right now, he's just in a position to get the job done in the morning. He's not putting too much pressure on doing it now. He's got an entire race meeting and 2 more races here at Le Mans left to go. Like I say, he is a perfectionist. He would win every single race if he could. I mean, he's come close to doing so on a few occasions. But as things stand right now, he's not going to win the championship just yet. We're going to have to wait a couple more hours before he does so. René Reinert still leads this race then. Steffi Halm still in 2nd position with what's left of that Iveco. The left-hand side has taken a right battering so far this race. Sascha Lenz looking like he's on good pace as well, right up behind Norbert Kisch. And the 5 of them are making a wonderful quintet over the hill. But René Reinert, with all the steam coming off those front wheels and obviously the air from the water-cooled brakes providing that, he's trying his hardest and he's really using those brakes to push the truck to its limit. This is great defensive stuff by Jochen Hahn, though. You can see even into the hairpins there. He's just putting the truck in the right place at the right time. I think while he was looking down the inside of Steffi earlier on, I think he's trying to sort of be a bit of a tail gunner for the two Ivecos and give Steffi a chance to have an overtake at René Reinert without putting the pair of them in jeopardy of being overtaken by Norbert Kish. It's a wonderful bit of teamwork by the two. Looks like Jochen's... I don't know if you could see that there, but look at the front window of Jochen Hahn's Iveco on his right-hand side, where the number 2 is on the windscreen. Is that a windscreen wiper, or is the window actually popped out of the door? There's something flapping around in the air. We've got just one lap left to go here at Le Mans, and I feel like this is going to come to boiling point once again. Bradley Smith is only 6 seconds clear of John Newell at the moment, and he is also less than 10 seconds ahead of Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, so he would drop down into 9th place with Bradley Smith, but he would still be second in Chrome. And if it finishes that way in Chrome, with John Newell winning it, Bradley Smith next up and Clemens Hecker in 3rd, with Mark Taylor getting no points, it'd mean Bradley Smith leads by 12 points from John Newell, who would be 5 ahead of Mark Taylor, who would only be 4 ahead of Clemens Hecker. So it's still ridiculously close, whatever way you look at it. But yeah, look, you can see the damage on Jochen Hahn's truck. There's a bit of trim or a window or something as part of the door hanging off to the right-hand side. I wonder if it's maybe a bit of the mirror that is obviously gone. It is actually, no, the mirror's folded in, so I don't know. I can speculate forever, and I still probably won't find the right answer. But there is your race leader. René Reinert has led from the start here, and once again soaked up a lot of pressure from behind. He is a 2-time winner this season, winning the 4th race of the weekend at Zolder, winning the 2nd race of the weekend at Lausitzring. He was the first non-Norbert Kish race winner of the year. And then for another 5 races, it was dominated by Norby until Antonio Albacete took victory at the Nürburgring. And here, in the low light of Le Mans, we see a great battle between the top 5 trucks in this race. Everybody is piling on here, trying to get whatever final moment or position gain that they can. René's had a great final lap, though, by the look of it. He started to stretch his legs and get away from Steffi Halm now. And are we about to see a podium for only the 3rd time this year without Norbert Kish on it? I don't think he'll mind too much, knowing that he only needs to score 4 points in tomorrow's first race to take a record-breaking 7th title. But right now, we need to look at the efforts of René Reinert and Steffi Halm. Fantastic driving by the pair of them. Jochen Hahn doing wonderful work to stop the Hungarian from getting through. But it's looking like another MAN victory. And for the 2nd time in just 3 races, René Reinert wins in the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. Reinert takes his 3rd victory of the season. Very well done to him. Steffi Halm next up in 2nd position, with Jochen Hahn 3rd, Norbert Kish 4th. Sascha Lenz completes a very, very interesting quintet. Bradley Smith is next on the road, but it's going to be Antonio Albacete next up. And the gap from Bradley back to John was just 5 seconds. So John Newell takes victory in Chrome, with Bradley Smith in 2nd place. Next up is going to be Clemens Hecker to finish in the top 10. A great recovery from him. He finishes in 10th place ahead of Simon Reed. Stefan Kirsch is next on the road behind those guys, but a few seconds back to say the least. Clemens back on the podium after a DNF in the first race. Well, that one will certainly give them a bit of relief at least. You could hear a bit of drifting and all sorts in the background there. I think that was Stefan Kirsch. Here's Craig Reed trying to finish ahead of Louis Requenco. Christian Ruppert will be the last one on the road to finish. And Luke Garrett was unfortunately in the pit lane earlier on. Mark Taylor out of the race, and Stefan Faas a non-starter. There is Christian Ruppert making his way round. Christian, a consistent finisher in the championship. It's rare that they have technical issues with the truck. And it's lovely for him to get a bit of airtime as well, because with the fantastic positive vibe and the approach that Christian brings, he really does deserve it. There is René Reinert then, third win of the year for the German, and the second in 3 races. What a great run he's having through the championship at the moment. That puts him clear of Antonio Albacete by 3 points. Also means that Steffi Halm gets back in front of Sascha Lenz by 2 points as well. There is Norby alongside his teammate down the back straight. And the two of them will celebrate together, I'm sure, when they get back into the pit lane area. Steffi Halm and Jochen Hahn certainly worked well together in that race as well. And that does, like I say, help Steffi back into third in the championship. So there's a great battle on there for third, fourth, fifth and sixth between Steffi Halm, Sascha Lenz, René Reinert and Antonio Albacete. Even Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, though, he's not far off either on 138 points. Bradley Smith wins on the road in Chrome, but it's that man there, John Newell, that wins after the 10-second penalty for Bradley. Bradley will still claim second position, and Clemens Hecker takes third place after a hard-fought race in the Scania. That's a hold on ahead of Simon Reed. A very, very interesting race, that one. Let's have a look at the results then. And René Reinert takes his third win of the season. Steffi Halm next up with Jochen Hahn in third. Norbert Kish finishes in fourth. That's only the third time this year he's not appeared on a podium. Sascha Lenz in fifth place. Antonio Albacete in sixth, ahead of John Newell, confirmed as Chrome winner with seventh overall as well. That puts him ahead of Stefan Faas in the overall championship by a good distance now. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, eighth after starting with a spin at the beginning. To only be 17 seconds off the win is a great drive. Bradley Smith, ninth, 11 seconds clear of Clemens Hecker, even with the penalty applied. Simon Reed next up in 11th, ahead of Stefan Kirsch and Craig Reed, with Louis Requenco, a very busy race for him, in 14th. And Christian Ruppert, the last truck classified there. Obviously, Luke Garrett and Mark Taylor out of the race. Stefan Faas did not take the start after the engine change that they had earlier on this afternoon. Jochen Hahn's second third place in a row today means that he does enough to stop Norbert Kish from winning the championship at this point of the day. Norby will have to do one of his signature race 1 wins in the morning to go and do that. Steffi Halm over the moon with second place in that race, and a big hug in celebration with her team. A very difficult time for them at Zolder with the accident and the damage and all sorts, but Steffi and the team will be over the moon with that. Great stuff. More championship points. Actually, to be fair, her and Sascha both have a second place and a fifth place each so far today. So that's actually swapped them one way and then back again in the Drivers' Championship. But there's your race winner, René Reinert. And he will be, I was going to say, absolutely delighted. You'll see the smile come through, I'm sure. He's still very focused as he gets out of the truck. And he heads over to celebrate with the team. And a great drive to absorb all of that pressure from the drivers behind. From that man in particular, Jochen Hahn. And a congratulations for him. And all of the team will congratulate him very, very affectionately, I'm sure. You can see John Newell in the background as well, with his team very happy. His second win of the year in the Chrome class, and there he is. Looks like he's been worked hard in that one. There's Rafi. And a big congrats from Jochen. Stefan Honen's there as well. Steffi going over to congratulate Jochen and John as well. I think they knew they were working together in that one, and they discuss accordingly. Great stuff. You've got to love the scenes down there in the pit lane. Like I say, it is one truck family, all of this, and to see everyone celebrating together after such a positive race, it's beautiful. And in just a moment, oh, that don't touch racing mechanic nearly got absolutely pied by Steffi there. René Reinert, big smile on his face, sort of looking around for someone to celebrate with, I think. And let's have a look at the highlights of the race, shall we, as the drivers make their way up to the podium. We'll speak to some of them in a few moments' time. So it was Bradley Smith starting on the front row alongside René Reinert, who was certainly geared up to take his third win of the year. We'd seen him do it twice before from pole position. He was hoping that this would be another repeat of it. As the race got underway for the first time, though, there was a bit of a scary moment on the inside at the chicane, and unfortunately, Louis Requenco and Mark Taylor coming together meant that Mark would have no further part to play in this race, and a red flag caused us to reset the grid and try and go again. Louis Requenco, unfortunately, not continuing on due to the damage, but then they got it fixed, so he managed to start from the pit lane, and even then, he still had a busy time. The second running of the race saw an incident as well, with Jose Eduardo Rodriguez, Antonio Albacete and Steffi Halm coming to blows. Big bodywork damage on Steffi's truck, while Antonio managed to carry on without major issue. Norbert Kish and Jochen Hahn made great progress in the opening stages, but unbelievably, after just 2 laps, the top 5 were locked in until the very end, but they were so close throughout. It was great fun to watch. Stefan Kirsch and Clemens Hecken definitely got friendly in the mid-pack of the Chrome class. We saw lovely battles from Craig and Simon Reed as well, the 2 Brits making their first appearance of the season here. Interesting moment for Louis Requenco, doing a great trailer impression behind Stefan Kirsch, ending up off and in the gravel. He would then go on to complete the race, though, in 14th place, I should say. I was going to say in 6th place, but he was 7th in class. Now, René Reinert soaked up all the pressure from Steffi Halm in the late stages there. Jochen Hahn, even with his window trim flapping around, was unflappable himself, and René took his 3rd win of the year ahead of the 2 Ivecos. Jochen Hahn up on the podium then. Steffi Halm heading up for another podium, her 7th podium appearance of the year. Although in the last, God, how many races? Trying to figure it out now. In the last 14 races, Steffi's only made 3 podium appearances after doing, what, 5 in the first 3 meetings. But René Reinert, 3rd race victory of the year for him. And the German national anthem there for René Reinert, an all-German driver podium as well. It did catch me out for just a moment there, I won't lie, but you could all tell. A big congratulations for Jochen, and a broken trophy to go with it as well. Make sure the lids are sellotaped on next time round. Steffi Halm gets some silverware. A very hard-earned trophy, though, for René Reinert. Had to soak a lot of pressure up in that race. And he holds the trophy aloft for his 3rd win of the season. 2nd most, and I hate the word, most winningest driver this year is René Reinert. Norbert Kish has 16 wins. René has 3. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez has 2. Other race winners include Antonio Albacete, Jochen Hahn and Steffi Halm. As I mentioned earlier on, Sasha Lenz, the only driver in the Titan class not to win a race so far this year. I'm sure that at least tomorrow and at Harama he'll be hoping to turn that around after the great pace that he's shown in qualifying recently as well. He's had 2 front row starts in the last 2 race weekends. But there is your top 3 from round 26 of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And now it's time for champagne, and Jochen is quick off the mark with that as well. René getting absolutely drenched, and our cameraman to go with it. I don't think René managed to get a shot off there at all. Bless him. Blinded by champagne. And a big swig from Jochen. Let's have a look at the championship standings. It is Norbert Kish on 346 points. He's 84 clear of Jochen Hahn. So not quite champion yet, but tomorrow morning he's got quite the easy job. Steffi Halm now 2 points ahead of Sasha Lenz. René Reinert 3 points ahead of Antonio Albacete. Jose Eduardo Rodriguez still hanging on to the coattails of the others. And then a big gap back, of course, to Mark Taylor, Clemens Hecker and Bradley Smith, who complete the top 10 in the overall standings. And then it's Lucas Hahn, John Newell, Stefan Faas, Louis Requenco, Luke Garrett, Jonathan Andre, and Stefan Kirsch with the point that he scored in this afternoon's first race. Now we should move over to the Chrome podium. And I'm sure the driver that finished this one in third place will be relieved to have ended up there after this one. Clemens Hecker with a smile on his face. Definitely not the way that he ended the first race of the day with that DNF. We don't have any information on what the damage was or what caused the truck to go straight on. Bradley Smith continues a good day at the office with a second position. 10-second penalty for overspeeding, though, will be a bit of a sting. It'll put a bit of a sour taste in that one. But John Newell takes his second Chrome win of the season. And now that puts him just 12 points off the top spot in the Chrome Championship and up into second place. And the British National Anthem there for John Newell. Like I've said, that puts him now second in the Chrome class, but we'll go over the points in just a moment. I often get ahead of myself. Clemens Hecker enjoying another trophy to add to the cabinet. He's had a great year of it so far with a current run of 11 podiums, 6 wins in class. Bradley Smith's 13th podium of the season and John Newell's 13th as well. Second win in the category this year. His last Chrome win also came in race 2, actually, back at Most in Czechia at the end of August. Doesn't even seem like that long ago, actually, does it? Another display, though, of just how tall Clemens Hecker is. He's about 9'8". Richard Keinberger there, taking pictures of the guys. On a very slow shutter speed, I imagine, with how low the light is at the moment. Are they going to soak each other? Of course. They get a bit of a drenching. And a good time is had by all, but fantastic, fantastic battling in the Chrome class this year. We only have 1.5 race meetings left, and there's 21 points between the whole top 4. Just to put it into context, you get 20 points for a race win in races 1 and 3. Bradley Smith still leads the way, then John Newell now hops past Mark Taylor into second place in the Chrome Championship, with Clemens Hecker now in 4th place, but still definitely not out of the picture. Louis Requenco is 5th with Luke Garrett just behind. Stefan Faas is 7th ahead of Jonathan Andre, and Stefan Kirsch now just 1 point back. He is also ahead of Lucas Hahn, who got a maximum score back at the Nürburgring earlier on in the season. Christian Ruppert should surpass Lucas in the next race, with Martin Matzik, Simon Reed and Craig Reed completing the scoring. The two brothers still inseparable on points as well. Hopefully they have a better day tomorrow, as they've had a bit of a bruising one this time round. And fingers crossed, Louis Requenco will use the truck as a tractor unit rather than as a trailer in tomorrow's race, after a very busy second race for him on both occasions as well. Bradley Smith is making his way over to his dad with the bottle of champagne and the team. They'll be all really pleased with that. Very well done to him with the wonderful accent, of course. There's Bernard Moritz as well. Wonderful French photographer. Good friend of mine. Not a bad day at the office for Bradley, eh? I'm going to say goodbye for now, everybody. Have a fantastic rest of your evening. We'll hand back down to Lena, and I'll see you again tomorrow.
And to our glorious team, what an amazing job they did. Sorry for being out of breath. I just ran for my sweater, it got so cold. Congratulations, really amazing job from the two of you. In between I was like, Jochen, are you taking over? Steffi, what are you doing? Don't risk anything. Were you about to?
Yeah, you know, in the end we have also a team podium and we play also for the team and we must do it careful and respectful and we do it. She make no error, she have no possibility to overtake René, then it's 1, 2, 3, it's clear.
Yeah, you did a great race. You were about to take over René Reiner a couple of times, weren't you?
Yeah, I was trying, but after I knew where he's a little bit slower, but the corners before I didn't. I was too far away to make a attack that it was fair. So I was always not in the comfort zone to try it, and I don't want to risk the second place.
No, that was a very smart decision, well deserved. Will you have a little party going on tonight, or is it already focus on tomorrow? At least have a little more champagne.
No, you know, after the race is before the race. Now we will check the data, same procedure as every day, and then we will look for tomorrow, huh?
And at 12 o'clock we have a small celebration.
Maybe.
But nobody knows it.
Okay, we're not telling anyone. Actually meant to talk to Clemens Hecker as well, the trio of the German team up there. Great fighting through and for, specifically fighting back in the race. Wow.
Yeah, so the first start was perfect. I think we make 7 trucks in front in a half lap and then got the red flag. But the second start was not.
Yeah, but you fought through. You managed to stay where you are. I don't know how much you got off that second race, but there was so much demolition going on. People getting connected to each other, ripping each other, like whatever. A lot of stuff happened, and you were somewhere safe in the middle, so you did a good job.
Yeah, so we got some contact, I think, with Stefan, and we have a little damage on the track, but so we made it.
So you have some fixing to do. You gained a lot of points for the championship. Do you know your overall standing right now?
No.
I'll let you know tomorrow. Yeah. I don't either. But I know you climbed up the stairs. That's a given.
Yeah, that's good. So we would like to stay P2 or P3. And I think I went down on P4 after the first race because we make no points. But right now we are back and tomorrow is a new day.
Yeah, it's always taking the calculator out in the evening, making the master, and then coming back stronger tomorrow. So I see you tomorrow. 1:30 it is for the third race of the weekend. Bear with us, set your alarm bell, and see you in a bit. Thank you so much for watching. And you go celebrate. 1:35.